I'm Stargate Pioneer from Voices of Defiance, a podcast member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the one you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready, because geekness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Crimson Comet, a fan podcast about the TV show dedicated to the Scarlet Speedster himself, CW's The Flash. Welcome to episode 15 of Crimson Comet. This week we'll be discussing The Flash Season 1, Episode 12, Crazy for You. I'm your host, Haley, aka Awesome Engineering Girl.
I'm John, aka Lobster.
And I'm Will, aka Rum Daddy.
If you'd like to get in touch with us and leave us some feedback, you can visit our website, crimsoncometpodcast.com, where you'll find all of our contact information. You can find us on Twitter, at Crimson Podcast, Facebook, Crimson Comet Podcast, or you can call and leave us a voicemail by dialing 423-FLASH-53. That's 423-352-7453. We also have forums available at forums.gonnageek.com, or you can search for Gonna Geek on the Tapatalk app, and that's all one word.
Tapatalk.
Tap.
How y'all doing? How you feeling today, Haley?
I am so much better than I was before.
You sound better.
I know, like I sound like me instead of some dude who stole my spot in the podcast.
That guy that was falling asleep in the last podcast?
Yeah.
Somebody push Haley. She's falling asleep.
No, I'm good this time.
Good. And what about you, Lobster?
I think I got whatever Haley had.
The plague.
Oh.
The plague.
Well, it was nice knowing you.
Yep. This will be my last will and testament.
Oh, nice. Now, next week, I'll be the sick one.
Yep.
Ha 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 ha.
No, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
You're going to catch it through the intertubes.
It better not. Don't you both work with people?
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's why.
People are disgusting.
People are really disgusting.
Yeah, but see, you're isolated. You're like the boy in the bubble. You don't have immunity.
You're right. I have no immunity.
You're a finely tuned microchip.
I know.
Tiny grain of sand.
And it shuts down the whole system.
When I go down, everyone goes down.
So we did get a little bit of feedback this week.
What kind of feedback?
Well, our friend of the show, Adam, left us a voicemail, and actually he left it for last week's episode, but he left it after we started recording, so we didn't know it was there until now. But now we've got it, so we're going to listen to it.
Let's hear it.
Hey, this is Adam, just calling in with some feedback on this week's episode of The Flash. For a little bit there, I was wondering if Hartley thought that Wells was the Flash, because if he was at Wells' house when he collapsed the roof, he might have seen him do that little super speed sidestep to avoid all the glass. And then we get into the fact that, he is confirmed to have super speed now. So while I think he could be a reverse Flash, I'm pretty sure he's not the one that Barry fought a couple episodes back, because if his powers were so unstable, I don't think he would have risked having them go out while he was in the middle of a fight with Barry. While I could see him doing the attempts to steal the tachyon, whatever it was, I don't think he would have sought out Barry to fight him, to race him and fight him in the football stadium. So I think there's someone else who's using the suit too. Maybe at the direction of Wells, though. Can't wait to hear what you guys think. Talk to you later. Bye.
Fascinating. However, I don't think that someone else is using the suit, because it's not the suit that gives you powers. Suit just happens to be part of it.
Well, I think he's saying there's somebody else in a yellow suit that is also a reverse Flash.
Well, we know who's in the yellow suit. It's the man with the big hat who walks around Curious George, but that's beside the point.
But I think that is a valid point. I don't think Wells would go head-to-head against Barry if he knew his powers could stop working at any minute.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what really doesn't make sense about that. So I think there is another man in the yellow suit, because I still keep going back to the fact that we saw him beat up Harrison Wells.
Right.
So I don't think that he was moving so fast that he was able to make it look like he was beating himself up.
Yeah, and that would create a time paradox as well.
And it would be like Fight Club. So I think there's a man in the yellow suit who's running around at like full strength, and then there's Wells who's trying to get back to full strength. And I think that's where the time travel aspect comes in.
I'm so confused.
I think they're going to tell us before the season is over, though, so we won't be confused for too much longer.
They better tell us before the end of the season.
I hope.
But then what's going to end up happening is we're going to have a big cliffhanger, and we're going to spend the rest of the summer going, WTF?
Yep, and mad theorizing and then watching more cartoons to help us get better ideas of what it could be.
Rocking back and forth in the corner slowly.
If we hadn't watched those cartoons over the break, we'd be so confused.
I agree.
But now we're experts.
Especially with the end of the episode. If we didn't know who you-know-who is, we'd be like, what's up with the big gorilla, man?
Oh my god.
Ooh, it's the Planet of the Apes down in the sewer.
I totally freaked. Grodd!
I love that it was, we're just skipping right to the end, but
Yep.
I love that it was scrawled on the walls.
I know.
Grodd, Grodd, Grodd.
And then we saw him. Like, they actually showed him, and he was all Grodd-like and throwing guys around. Oh.
I was telling Haley earlier that I'm like, as soon as I saw them underground, for some reason, as soon as I saw they were in the sewers, I'm like, it's Grodd. It's going to be Grodd. And I was watching with a friend who's like, who's Grodd? And I'm like, Grodd is this gorilla, but I don't know if they're ever going to show it, because if they show it on camera, it might look stupid. And as soon as I get done saying that, they showed Grodd, and Grodd!
Ooh, ooh, ha, ha.
So
But I don't know if
good.
this Grodd is going to be, like, telepathic.
I think he is. Definitely.
You think? Okay.
I
Definitely.
think that's what they heard the first time. They heard him trying to reach out to their minds. Because it kind of sounded like a distant voice, like faint. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
What was that? It's Grodd reaching out for your mind.
I was thrilled.
I know. I'm ready for him to start causing mayhem.
Start grodding up the place.
Yep.
Throwing his poop, as they do.
As they do.
That's racist.
Yeah, right. He's a very advanced life form, and he still throws his poop, because that's
Yeah.
what apes do.
And it didn't take us long to get to the poop jokes.
No. And we're back.
And we're back. So we should talk about some of the news surrounding the Flash at the moment. And we don't have anything like specifically Flash related, but I feel like,
We have Flash adjacent news.
yeah, and this first news item, I think we're going to see it appear on the Flash.
Right. So this week, we finally got our first look at the Atom suit that Brandon Routh is going to be wearing. And it looks kind of Iron Man-y, but, different.
Do you know what it really looks like? It looks like Ant-Man.
I was thinking the Tron outfit, like the one that he wears, that Flynn wears, because it's got like the face mask
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
/ sneeze guard / splash guard, which I was like the first thing I thought of when I saw that. I was like, okay, that's cool, but what happens when he sneezes?
He gets it all over the inside.
He's got like tiny little windshield wipers that he built into the thing because, he
the
miniaturizes
inside.
stuff. Mm-hmm.
That would be hilarious.
Yep.
I bet it's going to have some kind of like 3D heads-up display that's going to give him like a readout of various information. A little bit
Of course
more
it does.
Iron Man-y.
But on the page that we linked to, there, if you scroll down, there's a second picture of the suit, and you see the Flash suit in the background.
Ooh.
So, Flash Atom crossover.
It's going to be cool. He's going to go to Star Labs, and Cisco's going to Cisco his suit.
Yep.
Here's, because you know how they promised us a crossover every season of Arrow and the Flash? This is going to be like the crossover bridge. Like, it's going to start in Arrow, and that's going to end up in the Flash, and that's how they're going to say, well, it was a crossover episode.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason that they're building this cinematic universe, or not cinematic, but television universe, so they can keep doing the crossovers and all of that. And if somebody spins off to their own show, well, then that's just more crossovers they can do.
Yep. But another one of the spin-off series that we're going to be getting, Supergirl, has done a little bit more casting. We found out who was going to be playing Supergirl not too long ago, and they've now cast Jimmy Olsen. He's going to be played by an actor named Makad Brooks.
And he's African-American.
He is. And I haven't seen any of the stuff that he's in. He was in Necessary Roughness, True Blood, and Desperate Housewives.
Not a fan of any of those.
Yeah, he looks older than I usually see Jimmy Olsen, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything he's in, so I don't know.
And I got it from Wing over at all the other podcasts that he does all over the place, because the man, like, I guess doesn't sleep and has a day job as well.
He's a podcasting whore.
He's a total whore. He's a whore. And by the way, Wing, you are not French. You're Quebecois. Huge difference.
Quebecois?
He's Quebecois. Do not keep promoting the French thing. He's not French. He's Quebecois. But it's not Melissa Benoist. It's Melissa Benoist.
Benoit?
Benoit.
Did we say Benoist? Who said Benoist?
We said
We
Benoist.
said Benoist.
We were saying Benoist.
Are we sure that I didn't say Benoit?
You did not say Benoit, because
I must have been off my French game.
It is Melissa Benoit.
I'm usually pretty good at those.
Okay, on his IMDb page, he looks younger. So maybe it was just that one picture they showed that he looked older.
So it's interesting because Lawrence Fishburne played Perry White in the recent reboot, The Man of Steel.
Right.
So it's interesting that they're switching up the Jimmy Olsen role, which I think is fine.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, he is traditionally white in the comic books.
Yeah.
Well, he's traditionally white and like 14 years old. Not 14. He's like maybe 18, 19 years old traditionally.
Right. And Perry White's name is Perry White.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I thought, enjoyable. But hey,
it's ironic.
It is ironic. Who was it that played? Oh, wasn't it? What's his name from Being Human? That played him in Superman Returns. You guys know
I
what
do
I'm
not
talking about?
remember.
What's his name?
I didn't see Superman Returns. That's why I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Speaking of Brandon Routh connections.
Whitwer? Is that who you're thinking? Or was it somebody else?
Yeah, that one.
Sam Whitwer?
Yeah.
That guy.
Not Crashdown, but the other one.
That Sam Whitwer is Crashdown. I don't know the other guy.
Is the other one named Sam Huntington? Is that right?
I have no idea. I don't
know.
watch Being Human.
Look it up.
Oh.
Look it up, people out there who have computers, unlike the one that I'm sitting in front of. Look it up on your iPhone.
I just got a new iPhone. It's an
What'd
iPhone
you get?
6. I got an iPhone 6.
Is it the regular 6 or the big giant?
The
one
regular
that
6, because I have small childlike hands. So.
Yes.
But the battery lasts. It's awesome.
You know what? I fucking hate Apple for that exact
Stupid
reason.
Batteries.
No, because what they do, here's the thing with Apple, and I'm convinced they have it programmed in their software, that as soon as the second version comes out, like if you have a 5 and then there's the 5S and then the 6 comes out, as soon as the 6 comes out, your battery starts dying within like 2 hours. And it's got to be in the software.
Well, it's weird because as soon as my old phone, my 5, wasn't connected to the network anymore, the battery started lasting forever.
Really?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is once that 3G card or 4G card or whatever is running all the time. Like if you put your phone in airplane mode just when you're not using it, it lasts a lot longer.
Well, yeah, of course, but it's a phone. You need to get phone calls.
I don't.
Really, I don't talk to people.
I literally never get phone calls, and if I do, they're like, "You want a free cruise? Just give us your social security number."
See, I get voicemails, and I'm like, "Oh, somebody called me earlier."
Yeah.
I mean, for that, if you're going to use it like that, you might as well get an iPad or an iPod.
Well, where I work is underground, like we're literally below ground, so I couldn't get phone calls if I wanted to, so I just put my phone in like Wi-Fi only mode or whatever.
So what you're saying is that you work in a bunker.
Well, speaking of phones, we just got another voicemail.
What?
Shut up!
As we were speaking?
Breaking news, guys.
Live on the air. Let's hear it.
Who's it from?
It's from Adam. He's got a new one for this week.
Yeah!
Oh, yay!
And it's going to take a minute for me to get it downloaded and stuff.
Twice the Atom. And we were just talking about the Atom. That's crazy.
Synchronicity.
When I said that Cisco was going to Cisco his suit, what I meant was he's going to Cisco our suit. See, it's an us thing.
I see what you're saying.
I prefer to think of it as our suit.
I see where you're going with that. I don't like where you're going with that, but I see where you're going with that.
Look, it's just how he feels. And hasn't he earned it, as many people as he's let escape from the thing? I mean, come on, he let that guy escape twice.
That pipeline can only hold fart, man.
Okay, so we're watching the episode today, and Christine, who watches the show, so we're watching the episode today, and they show the little prison cell that they put the peekaboo girl in, and Christine goes, wait, like, there's no chair, there's no bed, isn't that inhumane?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
The logistics of the prison don't make sense.
Right,
Like,
I don't think those cells are even big enough to lay down in.
no.
And it's not like they're giving him, like, a book or a TV or anything. Nope, just 4 walls. She doesn't even get a window.
She just has to stare at herself. And, like, I get that you need to contain these dangerous metahumans, but shouldn't you be trying to rehabilitate them in some way? And
Like, aren't they just going crazy down in these little boxes?
Exactly. Isn't that making them worse villains? Because when they do get out, they have, they're like crazy because they've been cooped up this whole time. And also, how do they feed them? He said that he wanted to have some Thai food, but, like, what have they been feeding? Would they just be taking them takeout?
Gruel.
Grodd.
And where do they go to the bathroom?
Where do they poop?
There's no poop dispenser inside those cells.
Poop dispenser? Poop dispenser. Would it be the opposite of a poop dispenser? Aren't you the poop dispenser?
You are the poop dispenser. The poop receptacle.
I mean, maybe that's Barry's job because they give him all the shit jobs so he can get it done in a hurry. He just has to go in and clean up after them.
Yeah, because he could do it fast.
Yeah, it makes it better. All right, so anyway, yes. So among the audience of The Flash, there are some questions about how the pipeline prison operates. So I'm hoping they cover that in a future episode.
So you guys ready to hear from Adam again?
Let's hear it.
Hey, it's Adam. My first immediate thought is that Barry's dad definitely has figured out he's the Flash, probably just from his little revenge on the guy who beat him up. Other than that, the episode was fairly average, though Drunk Caitlin was kind of entertaining, especially when they got back to her apartment. Can't wait to hear what you guys think. Talk to you later. Bye.
I'm sorry, Adam. I disagree. I think this week's episode was filled with fun stuff.
I loved it. I really enjoyed this episode.
I would agree with Adam that I think most of the episode was fairly average, and then there was the end with Grodd. That was fantastic.
No.
I liked a lot of it. I liked it better than last week, to be honest.
I think, if anything, the weakness was the villain of the week.
Yes.
Because she had really cool powers, but they kind of nerfed them a little bit.
That's why I call her the poof.
The poof?
Because she kept poofing out and poofing in and poofing out.
Rather than peekaboo?
I don't like peekaboo. I'm going to call her the poof. Poof. Poof in. Poof in.
Well, she's one of those villains that, clearly she didn't really want to be a villain.
Right.
But her motivations weren't quite tragic enough to make you sympathize with her.
Yeah.
So she just kind of was like, eh.
I just love my criminal boyfriend and I want to help him out, even though he's a criminal.
Yep. And he totally ditched her.
But I did when I said that they kind of nerfed her powers, I didn't mean that in a bad way, because they gave her clear limitations, because, I mean, it makes sense if you're a teleporter, you need to kind of see where you're going, because otherwise you could end up inside of something.
Like a wall.
Yeah, if you just teleported blindly, that would be bad for you. But on the other hand, we've seen this before in X-Men with Nightcrawler and Azazel, and we've seen teleportation used in Heroes. But I liked the way that they made it look in this one. I liked that it was kind of like a poof and a cloud and she disappeared.
Right.
And then reappeared.
And a fight between a speedster and a teleporter is always fun.
Yeah.
It's just a fun matchup.
Yep.
By the way, have you guys seen the trailer? I think they did it during the Super Bowl for Heroes Reborn.
Yes.
You mean the non-trailer of just
It was such a it was, to me, I thought it was going to be an anime. So I think Heroes Reborn is going to be all anime. Except for horn-rimmed glasses guy.
HRG.
Yeah. And Zachary Levi. They had to make sure they put him in there so he's going to be on the show.
I'm excited for the Heroes Reborn because I'm a big fan of Heroes.
Are you really?
Yeah. From season 1. I liked a lot.
Well, yeah, season 1 was phenomenal.
Season 1 was amazing, and then I actually do like the feudal Japan story arc.
Yeah.
Because when I saw it again, it was really good.
I think it's a show that never recovered from the writer's strike.
Yeah.
They lost the momentum that they had, and I think that they had a really strong first season. They kind of had a plan of where it was going to go, but then they just had to tread water for a while and never got it back.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The storyline I liked from the later stuff was when the government was hunting them down. I'm okay, that's straight out of X-Men, so that's cool. But the whole circus freak thing, which again had Robert Knepper from Arrow and The Flash, but I was that's just weird. I don't like that.
No, I didn't like it either. But it was the show that Christopher Eccleston left Doctor Who and went to do Heroes.
I think there was more time between it than that.
Was it?
Yeah, there was more time. He had already announced that he was leaving, and then he got
the role. Yeah, and but he ended up on Heroes as the invisible guy.
Yeah, which was cool. Have you seen him on Leftovers?
No.
Oh, so good. Yeah, check that out.
Oh,
if you're an Eccleston fan.
Well, I was going through all my DVDs, and I came out with real quick. I'm getting rid of all my DVDs, and all of a sudden I pulled out, look, season 1 and season 2 of Heroes. Yeah, I don't want these.
Yeah, I've got mine on the shelf over there. I don't look at them too often, but anyway, I want to talk about Heroes too for a second because it's so interesting that it's coming back after we've had so many successful comic book franchises. Because when Heroes was on the air, there really wasn't that much. They done X-Men, they done a Fantastic Four. It was before any of the Marvel Studios films with Iron Man and all of that leading up to the Avengers. I guess Smallville was on, but nobody was doing any other comic or superhero related stuff. And now that Flash has been on and Arrow and everything else, it's going to be interesting to see how because it's like postmodern almost now.
Yeah.
Because we're in like the post-superhero situation.
Let's see if they do something interesting with it.
Well, I almost wonder if the Reborn is going to be... I wonder if they'll erase some of the continuity with the series, which I'm almost hoping that they do, and just be like, yeah, remember the last 3 seasons? That never happened. We're just going to pick it up where we should have.
With Claire falling off the Ferris wheel and camera showing everybody that she could like put herself back together.
I'm just sad that Siler's not going to be in it.
I know. Well, he was such a great character season 1, and then they made him sympathetic in season 2, and that's why I was like, bah.
He was a great villain, and he should never have been anything but a villain. Exactly.
Yep.
And the mom was a great, I love that she was so manipulative.
Oh, yeah, she was fantastic. And then they did some terrible stuff, but yeah.
All right, so on the Heroes podcast on the Gonna Geek Network, you're listening to Heroes Remembered.
Heroes Remembered, but we're here to talk about Le Flash.
The Flash. Whoa.
So, poof, peekaboo.
Yes.
Did her powers not come from the accelerator explosion?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, because
they did not give us an origin story. They didn't give us an origin story.
She just didn't realize that's where it came from.
Yeah.
I guess.
She's kind of dumb that way.
But they've kind of gotten away from being like, oh, he was next to a telephone pole and now he can read phone signals, or he was doing this or she was doing that. She just got the teleportation powers magically.
Now, what was her name in the show? Was it LaShawn?
No, it was Shauna.
It was Shauna.
In the comics, her name is LaShawn.
LaShawn. Well, the comics, when you posted, when I saw the drawings of the comics, it is something, let me tell you. She's got a big old nappy-headed fro.
Is this worse than the Pied Piper?
It's very 80s.
Let's see, LaShawn.
It's very 80s. She's running around
yes.
Yeah, in inline skates.
And a belly shirt and a fro.
And a fro, big old fro, and an oversized shirt with the midriff. Right. And cargo pants.
Which, it's interesting that you think it's super 80s, because her origin is in Flash Volume 2, Number 180, published January 2002.
Oh my God, this is just not good. If they published this in 2002, that is just not right.
Really? That's so weird.
Okay, 'cause when were cargo pants really big? They were big in the 90s, right?
Yeah, late 90s, maybe going into the early 2000s a little bit, but...
Okay. Because she's definitely wearing cargo pants.
I'm not sure, but it also looks like she has a little whale tail going on. I can't tell, though. If so, that's even...
Wait.
Yes, she might. It's hard to tell for sure.
It's very like Salt Peppa, what she's got going on.
Yeah. This is a little bit too, I don't know.
And she's got the winky smiley face on her shirt.
Yeah, it's a little bit too...
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a little bit too racially stereotyped.
Yeah. But in the powers and abilities, it says that whenever someone touches her, she automatically teleports a short distance away.
Right, she doesn't really have any control over it.
That would have been cool if they worked it in. Like, that would have upped the tragic factor with the boyfriend. She broke him out of prison, but they can never really, touch.
Well, how did she break him out of prison if they couldn't touch? He had to hold on to her in order to poof out of there.
Poof.
Damn you and your logic.
Peekaboo Street.
Yeah, and then obviously they couldn't have sex because he couldn't touch her. Poof.
Unless they blindfold her.
Yeah.
Because then she can't teleport if she's blindfolded. She can't see where she's going. Which I was like, so you just need to put a mask on her so she can't see anything.
Right.
Or blind her.
Just gouge out her eyes. Come on, Barry.
Just gouge out her eyeballs. No, but they could have used a really bright light, temporarily blinded her.
Yeah.
That is my biggest, guys, fear ever.
What? Being blind?
Losing my sight. Yeah.
Huh?
It's like, oh, I can't even think about it. It freaks me out so much.
We were listening to the radio, and this guy was telling the story about how he had gone blind as a kid, and then when he was in college, he got this operation that restored his sight, but then he went blind again.
Oh.
So he lost it, got it back, and lost it again.
That sounds terrible.
That is pretty rough. But he specialized in sound. That was actually his area of expertise, was sound.
Well, yeah.
Because that was cool.
That's like Flowers for Algernon.
It is.
Except he got smart, and then he got dumb again.
That's some Flowers for Algernon level shit right there.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Alright, so anyway, Peekaboo, I like the teleportation powers. I think they're cool. I liked that there was a reasonable limitation. But come on, the Flash should have figured it out way sooner than that.
Right, and then she uses her little telescope to beat him with, like it's a billy club.
Let me beat you with my spyglass.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
I didn't realize
it was
that's
like
what
a
she was
pirate
using.
spyglass. It was like, yar, there be whales.
Darby whales, I
There
believe.
she
Is what
blows.
Yes.
I didn't realize that's what it was. That's freaking hysterical.
Yeah, it was like a little spyglass.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't she just get some binoculars or something?
Which, like,
Because then she couldn't beat him with it afterwards.
Sure,
Yeah.
she could. She could do like a whip kind of thing.
well, she used it like a collapsible baton to
I
like,
know.
beat him.
And isn't that thing kind of fragile? You'd think.
Not anymore.
No, it was like old and made out of brass. It had been on like a pirate ship or something.
Right.
Yar.
Hope she didn't crack any of those lenses.
Okay, so like she can't move faster than the Flash can move. Like she can teleport, but she can't really teleport that far. And her teleport isn't instant. It's like she turns into the cloud and then she like disappears and like reappears somewhere else in the cloud.
Poof.
So could he have like run up at her as she was poofing?
Poof.
And like what happened if he grabbed her arm mid poof and she like transported away except for her arm?
Well, no, she would just take him with her.
Yeah.
I guess so.
And if he grabbed her too late in the poof, then she would have gotten out of his reach.
He would have gotten splinched.
Yes, there would just been smoke left in his hand.
Smoke gets in your eyes. That's what he should have done. Put some smoke in her eyes.
There you go.
Or like some pepper spray.
Yeah, pepper spray. Oh, that's mean. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it would work.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, of course, that would kind of work for all villains. Just blinding anybody is a good way to take them out.
Yeah, and he could pepper spray somebody super fast.
Guys, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the logic of how the crossing of the streams.
Crossing the
and how
streams. Crossing the
that was
streams.
stupid. It was just stupid. How if he moves that fast, he could have just easily redirected
Just taking the guns.
or taken the guns and de-pants them.
Yep.
I love pantsing as a way to neutralize your opponent.
They never see it coming.
We never do. All right, so anyway, can we agree that the weaker spot of this episode was the villainess of the week? But the strong point was, I think, the interpersonal relationships.
I like going to a karaoke bar and getting really shit-faced.
Right, but they don't think that's a karaoke bar. They think that's a dive bar.
I was like, wow, this is a nice dive bar, yeah.
Yeah, what is their definition of a dive bar? And what a douchebag was that bartender?
He is not making very much in tips, I don't think.
No, I mean, listen, way back in the day, I bartended for many years, and he was standing right in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it was a super busy night or anything where he couldn't hear. He was just
Right.
ignoring him.
He was just like, oh, you're with that terrible singing drunk girl? I'm just going to ignore you.
And then you sang all pretty, jerk.
Because he is from Glee, and he does have a fabulous voice.
Yes, he does.
It's dreamy.
He is a warbler.
He was a warbler. He was a warbler in Glee. He was a douchebag warbler, but he was...
So remember that Central City is technically like the Midwest, we figured out, right?
Right.
Right.
So the Midwest equivalent of a dive bar is a karaoke bar?
No.
That is not the case.
No. A dive bar is a dive bar.
Right. In fact, I've been to college bars that looked seedier than that dive
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think our friend Badger said something that he posted somewhere that Supernatural and The Flash have completely different ideas of what a dive bar is.
Well, I think probably what happened was once they decided they were going out for drinks together, they were like, yeah, maybe we'll just go to this bar instead of going to like the crazy dirty part of town.
Yeah, because you don't dress the way she dressed to go to a dive bar.
Right. Good point.
Right. And it's not like at any point they were actually trying to find the people they supposedly went there to get.
Yeah, that never happened, even when they like came across an actual reporter. Oh, Linda Park.
Linda Park.
Park, who's supposed to be Korean, by the way.
Which, okay, so at the end of the episode, we have the awkward scene with Iris and Linda Park together with Barry. And when you look at the two of them, it's very obvious that Flash has a type.
Yeah.
Am I right? The almond eye, dark skin, brunette. They're approximately the same height and weight. Both reporters. Both a little sassy.
So I did some research on her because, you know, my thing is if somebody in the show has a first and a last name,
You Google
you
it.
wiki that. I Google it, I wiki it to find out who the hell they are. She is married to the Flash
But not
when
this
the Flash is Wally. But not this Flash.
Right.
She is married to Wally.
And Wally West in the comics is Iris West's nephew.
Oh. Okay. Gotcha. Because and then there's this whole thing with her and Peekaboo, aka Poof. Her and Peekaboo have a thing. Like, not a thing, but they like cross paths.
They have a thing?
They don't have a thing.
Like a thing.
But not a thing.
What's
you
the thing?
You can't pronounce N's because you're all stuffed up.
What's the thing?
There's no thing.
Okay.
It's a
Ben
thing.
Grimm is the thing.
The ever-loving blue-eyed thing.
But they cross paths, and there's like somebody gets hurt because of something that someone did and someone said, and yeah.
So it's like a emotional thing.
Well, it's all no. She actually gets physically hurt.
Interesting.
But she's supposed to be Korean American. She's supposed to be an Asian chick.
I can see that. I mean, her name's Linda Park. I'm pretty sure that's like like Grace Park. Linda Park, who played Hoshi Sato on Enterprise, was the actual name.
Right.
Isn't there a golfer named Michelle Park? Something? I could be
Something
wrong.
like that.
Yeah. So that's a common
Well,
last
and
name.
I mean, she's of Asian descent.
You think? I didn't see
The
it
actress?
in her.
Yeah, her father is Chinese.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just like what's her name on S.H.I.E.L.D. I didn't realize she was Asian either.
Sky.
Sky. Yeah, I didn't realize that Sky was Asian
Yes.
until it was pointed out, and she actually does. She was a singing star in Japan growing
Yep.
up.
I don't see
Right,
that,
Chloe
that
Wang.
kind of thing.
Right, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do see the Asian in her now.
There's no Asian in me. Would you care to modify that statement?
No.
All right, let's go back to the dive bar for a minute.
Yeah.
Caitlin's terrible karaoke was fantastic.
Amazing.
Like the actress totally committed to doing some terrible karaoke.
That's how I sound.
Which that's the best thing. Be like, they're like, okay, you're going to have to sing on the show. And then you're like terrified and be like, no, it's okay. You're drunk and you're terrible. So it doesn't matter.
And then in interviews, you can always be like, oh, I'm a fantastic singer. That's just what the part called for. So.
Right. Sure.
Whereas they knew Barry could sing because of the Glee.
The Glee, yes.
Right. Grant. GG.
GG.
We're going to call him GG from now on.
GG.
I don't think that's what we're going to do.
No, we're not?
No. Okay.
All right. I'll give you that one.
Okay.
But anyway, so how many drinks did she buy him that had absolutely no effect?
It doesn't matter. He could drink 100 of them and he'll be drunk for like 3 seconds.
I don't know. Remember, he took all those tequila shots and he didn't even feel it.
Until she gave him that one thing that was like 500 proof, which is impossible.
Right. Oh, do you think she brought some of that stuff in her purse this week?
No.
No? Aw.
I think maybe that's what they're giving the inmates in the pipeline to keep them sedate. Just here, drink some of this.
It's got a month's worth of calories.
Yeah.
And then they're all just passed out.
It's going to make it hellish for Barry to clean the cell, but...
Oh, wait, you know what I love? Is that we actually got a vomit shot on TV. Like,
yes, we
did. Bleh! I'm like, that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
I loved it. I love the... I'm not sure if it's the super speed or the drunkenness, but...
But, like, you know, secret identity, but he just runs her out of the bar.
Right.
You know, whatever.
Well, I think he probably... You're right, he does run her out of the bar. I was like, he'd probably wait till he got outside. I was like, no, he got her. He ran her out of the bar.
Whoosh!
But he did hold her hair. That was nice. Good job, Barry.
He held some of her hair. He didn't hold all of her hair.
Not the hair around her face, but he held some of her hair.
So here's the thing that I really hope they don't do. I hope they don't start toying with making them romantic at all together.
I hope they don't do that too, but they kind of have, like every once in a while, they have a flirtation between the two of them.
Well, Barry's got this weird thing, which is like he collects sisters. Like Iris is kind of like his sister. Now Caitlin's kind of like his sister. But it's okay if he peeks at the good stuff. He's earned it.
Sneak a peek at her goods.
That was probably my favorite.
I want to see him hook up with Park, but not with Caitlin.
But I feel like now Park's just going to be a way to make Iris jealous, because that was clearly the thing they were going for.
Right. But then when Caitlin's cousin, Wally, comes into town, he can go hook up with Park, and Barry can get with Caitlin. Or, not Caitlin, Iris.
Good plan.
Yep.
Good plan.
There you go. Gotcha.
Iris's cousin will come. Okay, makes sense.
And by the way, she's not allowed to name anybody.
Oh, I loved it. I love that. She's like,
Peekaboo.
oh, I get to name him. Yeah, Peekaboo's a terrible name.
Well, and she tried to name Prism Rainbow Raider, and they were like, no.
Rainbow Raider.
Even though that was his name in the comics. Rainbow Raider.
That's okay.
And Peekaboo isn't?
Peekaboo is very 5-year-old girl, My Little Pony type stuff. Although there are some bronies out there. So.
Well, ironically, if she was playing Peekaboo, she wouldn't be able to use her powers because she would cover her eyes and then it wouldn't work.
You have a point. An idiotic one, but a point.
I'm just saying, like, the logic doesn't work out.
I know.
You're right.
So then Caitlin comes back in the next day, sunglasses and scarf.
That was fabulous.
I'm pretty sure she was carrying a bottle of Pedialyte.
Yeah.
That was fucking fabulous. And a scarf around her face. Do not talk to me.
I'd like to yell and wave my arms, but I'm afraid I'd throw up.
She was like, no cameras, please. All right, so now, because we're at this point, now we have to talk about Cisco's t-shirts.
Okay.
And what Cisco was up to, because he got himself in a little bit of trouble.
A little bit.
Well, I gotta say something. Cisco has some moves. Because that little fight in the stairwell was awesome.
I know. These guys are supposed to both be total nerds, bookworms. They threw down.
That, flip that he did over him and landed on his back and pulled him over and slammed him into the wall. That was awesome! I'm like, oh shit, Cisco could probably kick my ass. And he got some acting chops in where he wasn't always the comedic relief. He actually got some
drama.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the t-shirt rundown?
Well, the first one was an homage again to The Big Bang Theory.
Which we talked about on the last episode, right? About them working in more Big Bang Theory references.
Yes, and I think they're listening to our podcast.
I think they must be. Wait, did we release that episode?
Which one?
Are they reading our minds?
They are reading our minds.
So his t-shirt said, "This is my spot," and it had a picture of the couch and the little ellipses for the particles floating around, the Big Bang Theory style.
And then after that, he had a gray t-shirt with something red that looked like a red tornado or something on it, but I couldn't make out what it was because he was wearing it under a button-down shirt, right?
Yep. And then he had a really cool pixel art video game controller t-shirt, which I was actually kind of jealous of.
Well, it was all the Nintendo 64, wasn't it?
No, they were all different controllers.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, so it went from the Nintendo to the SNES and all the way up.
Yeah, I like the gun.
And I've seen posters of those, but they're pretty cool.
And then he had, it looked like, I want to say it was Space Invaders, but I didn't see any Space Invaders on it. I saw the little gun turret at the bottom and then little pylon things that you hide behind. But then instead of having actual Space Invaders, they had these little galaxies.
It's pretty cool.
I thought it was cool, but I guess it was the closest you can get to Space Invaders without having to pay that.
Copyright infringement.
Yeah, copyright, yeah.
I like it.
We should start sending him our own t-shirts to wear.
We should. Be like, hey, wear the shirt.
That would be awesome!
That would be pretty cool.
We should come up with a shirt to send and go, please wear this.
Crimson Comet, wear this t-shirt.
It says Crimson Comet across the top.
Crimson Comet Podcast.
Available at crimsoncometpodcast.com.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, Cisco let Rathway out. That's what he did this week. And that was clearly a really bad idea.
Well, didn't we all see that coming? We all knew what was going to happen.
This is the second time that Rathaway has escaped under Cisco's watch. The first time he almost got himself blown up, and this time he gets himself kicked around a bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he didn't escape because he got his ass kicked. He escaped because he fucked with his ears later on.
You do not mess with that man's ears.
No.
Which I have to admit, he was kind of a badass when he was like, if you try that again, I'm going to turn it on and I won't ever turn it off. Never, ever, ever.
Yep.
You'll just have to listen to that ringing sound in your ears forever. Which I thought for a second he was going to leave it on, but turn down really low, so it would just be this annoying ringing sound, just to let him remember that it's there.
Yeah, but the moment he showed him that thing and put it back in his pocket, I'm like, he's going to pick his pocket and take that away from him. What's going to happen.
Yep.
But I did like his line when he put on the handcuffs on. He said something like,
was it something about rough play or something like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't write that one down, but yes.
That lines up with the man in the leather suit line from last week.
Exactly.
Yep, we're learning a lot about Rathaway.
Yeah. So they sneak him into the police station, right? And he's like, oh, these are going to be a little conspicuous. But isn't his boyfriend or ex-boyfriend supposed to be the police captain?
Well, in the comics, yes, but they haven't established that in the TV show yet, that they have any sort of relationship or that they know each other at all.
Here's what I think is going to happen. What I think is going to happen is that Rathaway is going to end up becoming a recurring character much later on. Because in the comic books, he, quote-unquote, becomes a good guy or straightens out. And that's where he's going to hook up with the police captain and develop a relationship there.
I could see that.
Maybe he just runs into him on the stairs on the way out. Be like, hello, how are you?
It's like, hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Gets in the elevator with him.
However, there's a big age difference there, too.
He seems like the type that would like older men. So
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons he hung out with Dr. Wells so much.
Yep.
That's why they were all buddy-buddy.
Gonna go for somebody in a position of authority.
Yeah.
Yep.
Attaboy.
Yeah. Anyway, Rathaway escapes by pulling that thing out of his ear, which is so gross, and then like turning it inside out and making it zap Cisco's ears.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't that also hurt his ears? But whatever.
I don't know. I don't know why they let him keep those things
Because if he doesn't, he's in pain.
Right, if those aren't in his ears, he's supposed to be in terrible pain. But whatever.
Yeah, so if he pulls it out, he's like, now I can use it against you. Well, won't it also work against him? Because
Apparently not, because he probably hears things with a different frequency.
stupid continuity issues.
Yep. But what we learned from Rathaway is that Ronnie merged with Dr. Stein.
Interesting. Yes, we did learn that from him.
I enjoyed the bomb shadow quite a bit, but they
Right.
did that in Iron Man 3,
Yes.
if you recall.
But that's a real thing after the bombs
Yes,
were
it is.
dropped
Yes, it is.
in
Yep.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yeah, but why didn't anybody ever notice that earlier? Nobody noticed that there's a shadow shaped like a man on the wall?
Maybe they thought it was like some cool Banksy-style street art.
Oh, that's what
They
it
were
was.
they were busy cleaning out the actual corpses from the disaster. They didn't notice.
That Banksy was there?
Yeah.
But no, Rathaway was saying, open your eyes, look around, or whatever. And I thought Cisco was gonna realize that, hey, there's a room sticking out of the building here. And I don't know where that room is on the inside of the building.
That's not on the blueprints.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen, but that's not what happened.
So do you think he knows about the secret room? No.
I don't, because I think he would have said something by now.
Yeah.
Or at least teased that he knew something that they didn't know. He's too much of a dick to keep it to himself.
He's going to end up being a good guy, but he's still going to be a dick, and they're still going to hate him.
Yes.
I should know. I share the same personality.
Oh, boy. So the Firestorm, or the FIRESTORM Firestorm WTF.
Have we figured out what the hell that all stands for?
I think they told us, but
Yeah, they did.
I'm
they
never
did
going to
tell us.
remember.
Yeah.
They did, but I didn't write it down because I'm lazy.
It's like S.H.I.E.L.D.
It means what they needed to mean this week.
Stands for the what now? The what now?
It means somebody really wanted our initials to spell out SHIELD.
Let's talk about Dr. Stein for a second, because we saw Victor Garber on the little camera, and he shows up outside of the building, and he's just going to hang out there with like some magic box and see what happens.
Yeah, what is the box he was carrying?
That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It looked science-y.
So that means that he willingly spliced himself with somebody?
I don't think it was intentional.
I think it must have been, because that's what he specialized in. He specialized in combining two separate things, or however they explained it.
Like peanut butter and chocolate?
Like peanut butter and jelly in those jars in the same jar, the stripey.
But you got chocolate on my peanut butter.
You got peanut butter in my chocolate. Don't talk to me. Get out of here. This podcast is done.
We're done!
We're finished. But okay, so yeah, he was hanging out, and he sucked Ronnie up with his little like dustbuster. Combined them.
Well, you couldn't let him get away, so yeah.
It's true. Maybe it was like a trap from Ghostbusters. Two in the box, ready to go. We be fast and they be slow.
There you go. So, Barry ends up going to see his dad, who got stabbed by this guy that he questioned, the guy that works for the other guy, and it was like wavy hands story that's not that important because it's, villain of the week.
Well, it made sense because that actually did kind of tie in. And I was just thinking about how, like, the dad hasn't been in it for a while, and I kind of missed him. But the whole thing was that guy was involved with a mobster, so the dad was using, like, his contacts on the inside, quote-unquote, to, like, get information. And remember, he was a cop before he went to jail, right? Or no?
Was he? No.
No, he was a doctor, I thought.
He was a doctor, that's
Yeah,
right.
he was a doctor.
That's right. But he wanted to be a cop.
But I love that his dad put two and two together and figured it out pretty easily.
And figured out not to say anything.
Yeah.
Not to say anything.
But just to let him know, be careful, I love you, I'm proud of you.
Basically made me cry.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Dusty
Right.
in the living room when I was
Right in
watching
the
it.
feels.
Totally got the feels on that.
So we got the feels, and then Barry accidentally got his picture taken by Iris.
He didn't get his picture taken. That was like this airbrush.
Yeah.
I'm like...
It was one of the promo pictures.
Yeah.
It totally
I
was
don't
one of
think-
the promo pictures.
I don't think any iPhone has a camera that good.
No,
Just saying.
like last week when he tried to take that group picture and he took the picture by like pressing the button, getting in the picture and getting out of the picture and catching the camera. No.
Maybe they were just establishing that in this universe,
Gravity doesn't mean anything.
cell phone cameras work really, really well.
No, when the particle accelerator exploded, it caused all the cameras on phones to get super, super good.
Oh, that's
Yep,
fantastic.
That's what happened.
'Cause-
Explanations.
He's also framed perfectly in her shot.
Yep.
And you can see like the individual lightning bolts coming off him and stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Good for her for getting that shot. Ay.
Oy.
And then we are teleported. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. What you did there? I saw that.
Uh-huh. We're teleported into the sewers where we see Grodd.
Grodd. So first we see his little scratchings on the sewer walls, and then we see him in all his glory,
Yeah.
and he smashes up those two guys.
Yeah. And you knew he was coming.
Oh, yeah, you knew. Oh, so good. I wonder how long
Grodd.
before they bring him to the forefront.
I can't see it happening this season.
I think it will.
Because what they've done so far this season is teased him at the end of a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
3 episodes. They've teased him.
We've had Grodd appetizers. Now we need the main course.
I don't think we're going to get a full-on Grodd storyline until season 2.
I want full Grodd. I want full frontal Grodd.
You're sweet. Twisted, but sweet.
My gorilla.
I want them to wrap up, or at least let us figure out what the hell's going on with the yellow suit and the reverse flash and all that other
And
shit.
Wells.
And Wells before we get into Grodd. I feel like Grodd is something that is going to end up turning up and becoming a major thing as the cliffhanger for the end of the season.
Possibly.
So we're gonna continue with the other storylines, and every once in a while there's gonna be this Grodd thing that pops up. And then once the other storylines get wrapped up, the big cliffhanger for the next season is going to be we're going to hear Gorilla Grodd's voice, be it out of his mouth or telepathically.
Yes. Well, the cool thing about Grodd is he's CG, so you could have him show up whenever. You don't have to book your guest star.
Yeah.
There's no scheduling.
You don't have to get the Gorilla Wrangler.
Maybe.
I can't wait to see Grodd flying that little, like, air motorcycle like he did in the cartoon.
Now, I'm not so sure that's going to happen.
It could happen.
Riding around on that little, like, space motorcycle with no wheels. It'd be awesome. And the helmet, the silly helmet.
So fantastic. Okay, so how long do you think the pipeline prison is going to be able to hold Peekaboo?
Oh, until somebody else fucks up.
Because I really think they only have 2 cells. Fartman is like permanent resident in one of them, and then we get somebody new every other week for the other cell.
You're right. You're right. There's nobody else but those 2.
And they forgot Fartman's down there. They haven't fed him in weeks.
Oh. Well, no matter what they give him, it gives him gas. So.
They're going to keep feeding him kimchi.
Man, oh man. Yeah, they're going to have to straighten out the whole prison system.
Right, because I kept thinking, they're going to fill up this prison and then there's going to be a massive prison break and it's going to be a big, huge, fun story. But they aren't filling up the prison. So.
No, we have 2 prisoners. 2.
Yeah. 2 living prisoners.
We have 1 prisoner and then another cell that is a revolving door.
Yeah. And don't worry, she won't get out it because I put a mirror on
One-way
it.
glass, yep.
One-way glass, which you can still kind of see through.
He Cisco'd it.
Yeah, sure.
So Barry smashed all the lights in the tunnel with a wrench. So does that make it an Allen wrench?
It's got to be an Allen wrench.
That's funny.
Hilarious.
Yep.
You got such a head for comedy.
I know, right?
And then she was like, no, he's turning out all the lights. So basically, she could be defeated by the clapper.
Clap on.
Okay, so how did her boyfriend get away?
I was just going to ask that. All of a sudden, he's gone.
He just got out and ran away in the dark because the Flash couldn't see him either.
The Flash couldn't just be like, hold on a sec,
Yeah.
cuff her to the steering wheel or something, and then run grab him and bring him back?
Finger's not going to do any good. She can just poof.
No, because he turned out the lights, remember?
I don't know.
Hey, who turned out the lights?
I think, honestly, he wasn't interested in her. He wanted to get the metahuman, and then he gave the story to Iris to track down the guy.
Whatever. I feel like that guy's probably going to get killed off by some mob boss or something anyways, so whatever.
It'll be a thing.
Actually, probably won't be a thing. We'll never hear about that guy again.
It'll be a mention. Oh yeah, this guy died.
He's not important.
Nope.
But then we also have to find out what happened with Freezy McFreezy's sister who broke them out of the back of the truck. There's a lot of storylines we have to start wrapping up.
Right.
Yep.
I feel like they're just going to keep building the rogues until it's a bigger team.
Yeah.
So now they've recruited his sister, and she's going to get something cool. I don't know. Like a vine gun, maybe?
Did you say a wine gun? Because that would be pretty awesome.
That would be awesome. But no, I said a vine gun.
Oh.
Because, then you've got fire, water, and grass.
Or a dirt gun.
Dirt gun. There you go.
I like that it's a vine gun because grapes grow on vines, and soon, if you leave it sit long enough, it'll turn to a wine gun.
Well, if you want a wine gun, you could just get a super soaker and fill it with wine.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that'll be your plan. Get the Flash drunk.
Idea for the next meetup. Super soaker filled with wine.
Yep.
I feel like that's a great way to lose your hotel deposit.
Fill it with vodka instead. That way we won't stain the carpets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, in the life hackers thing, I just read somewhere that if you get a stain on something, put vodka on it.
Sure.
I'm like, all right.
It's a solvent. Alcohol is a very strong solvent.
Yeah. You don't want to waste vodka, though, on cleaning things.
Well, if it's crappy vodka, you can get like the 100 proof Mr. Boston and use that.
There you go.
Mr. Boston.
Or Russia's best.
Russia's best. Isn't it Russia's vest?
Oh.
I'm not even going to go there.
Is vest for you.
Is best for you, yes.
Is very good.
Is very, very good.
Yeah. So it would be, yeah.
Very good vodka.
Very good vodka.
All right, before we alienate all our Russian listeners,
Because we have so many.
what have we learned this week?
I learned that, speaking of vodka, that vodka and super speed are not a good combination.
That one seems kind of obvious. Like, they should have thought of that.
Because if you get motion sick, you get nauseous. If you're drunk, you're nauseous. It's just not going to work out.
Although you will, if you're throwing up and you're going that fast, it's this bile streak. So we've already covered the yellow streak.
Oh, you're barfing in your own face at supersonic speed. That's disgusting.
Well, no, you turn your head, and then it's
You
just a
turn your
green
head.
streak.
Oh.
So it's a green streak. So we've got the yellow streak, the brown streak, and now we have the green streak. Blech. Well, it depends on what you ate when you drank the vodka.
I think she just drank vodka. I don't think she had anything else in her stomach.
She was puking clear.
So it'd be like a clear streak, and then the bile would come afterwards, so that would turn into a green streak.
Huh. Huh.
Yeah, we went
I really
there.
hope you're eating right now, listeners.
Oh. Well, mine's pretty gross, too. I learned that gorillas in the mist, the steamy mist that smells like poo, because they're in a sewer.
And I learned that the only person the pipeline can hold for more than a week is Fart Man.
That's right. Fart Man shall return.
So we covered poop, puke, and farts here in the what we learned this week. So
Ugh.
good job, guys.
Ugh. Tune in next week for more disgusting bodily functions. We'll be covering earwax, dandruff, and snot.
Ooh, boogers, yay.
I thought we covered
Boogers.
snot last week with my plague.
Yeah, I
but-
think we
Oh,
did.
yeah. There's a lot, and I got plenty over here.
I think we talked about phlegm at some point, too.
Phlegm. We should do, like, toe jam or something.
Splooge. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone.
This has been Crimson Comet, episode 15. Join us next week as we discuss The Flash, season 1, episode 13, The Nuclear Man. Until then, I'm Haley.
I'm Lobster.
And I'm Rum Daddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, boy.
Thanks for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, you can find all of our contact information at crimsoncometpodcast.com. Find us on Twitter at Crimson Podcast or Facebook at facebook.com/Crimson Comet Podcast. Leave us a voicemail at 423-FLASH53. That's 423-352-7453. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual host and do not represent Gonna Geek. The podcast is not affiliated with DC Comics, Warner Brothers, or the CW. No infringement is intended. The music heard is by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com.
I'm so excited for the Legos, I can't stand it. I shit a brick. A Lego brick, and it really, really hurt. OMG. The G stands for Grodd.
Oh my God.
Oh my Grodd. Look at her gorilla. Wait, can I say your name on the thing? Can I use your real name, or should I refer to you as... You don't get
the
royalties
significant
now.
other.
Yeah, my significant other. Partner? What do I say?
Lady friend?
Okay, my lady friend. That's what they said I should call you. So, you're no lady? Oh boy, that's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, so we're watching it, and
there's dog barking going on. There's shenanigans.
There's all kinds of audience participation this episode.
Apparently. Hold on, I gotta see if someone's at the front door. Carry on.
Somebody filing their nails?
No, I was playing with Velcro, sorry.
Okay.
I'll put it down.
Maybe playing with Velcro on the podcast isn't a good idea.
I didn't realize you could hear that.
Next week we're doing bubble wrap.
The tearing sound. Jesus. Bubble wrap.
Wow, this is a really good mic.
And after that, Pop Rocks. We're just all going to talk with Pop Rocks in our mouth.